I'm a lowlife, but now people call me the king. Tearing it up with every lyric that I bring to the table. Because I'm willing and able. I'm in more homes than Comcast cable. I got the skill that'll rattle your brain. I'm a threat like Saddam Hussein. Everybody know my name. Joe Habib's a top soldier. Kid, they should have told you. You really need to pack a lunch. My words hit hard just like a Tyson punch. So give me a chance. I bet you I can make you dance. Show me your girl. I bet you I get in her pants. I'm breaking egos and money is what I'm stacking. Joe Habib on the mic. You know I'm down for action. Shout out to Make Beats Sir and the Beat Smith and the whole Rope-A-Dope radio crew. Yeah. All right, good morning, everybody. Once again, you see the title. You know what we're going to talk about here. But I want to start this video off by first saying that when it comes to gender roles in society, I consider myself pretty much a traditional guy. I'm not a perfect guy, but I do believe that there are some standards that men should be held to. I think that, men should be the protectors, the providers. They should lead in relationships. A lot of what Andrew Tate says, I know he gets a lot of hate on here, but I agree with probably 99.9% of the stuff he says. You may not like the way he says it. A lot of what he does say is kind of satirical, tongue in cheek. It's made for entertainment. It's humorous, but if you look deep down into what he says, I think there's a lot of value in it. And I think society today, in my opinion, and I stress my opinion, there's a movement out there that um, is trying to emasculate men, right? They don't want us to be leaders. They don't want us to, display our traditional roles, our predisposed genetic traits that we are supposed to display as men. They're trying to erase that. I do believe that society out right now, currently, particularly in the Western world, like Andrew Tate says, I think they are trying to do that to men. And I'm not for that, right? And I do believe that in a lot of areas, men are being exploited. There is a bias against them. Whatever the case may be, if you look at the statistics when it comes to relationships, particularly marriage, men do end up with the short end of the stick. So I'm a big supporter of, traditional gender roles and allowing men to be men, right? And I'm not a big fan of the feminist movement. But in saying all of that, right, it is not a masculine trait, right, to physically abuse a woman. You don't lead in a relationship with a woman who is the weaker sex, right, by force. And you can get into debates, and you can get into a discussion and argument about, well, what if the woman attacks you first? You know, there's all types of opinions on that. But my opinion is, you try to distance yourself from the woman, and you just get out of there, so you don't have to, get into a physical altercation with that woman. Easier said than done, but at least that should be the main objective, in my opinion. But we're going to talk about this current news with Javante Tank Davis's girlfriend, right? So apparently she came out and said that she lied about Tank hitting her. She said he never laid his hands on me or my baby, right? Well, no one ever accused him, to my knowledge, of him hitting the child. So I don't know why she would bring that in there, right? So everyone's saying, "Oh, we need to give Tank an apology. Oh, she lied. She lied about, about the whole incident happening," and everyone's looking for vindication for Tank. But once again, there's just something that not only the incident of Tank on tape choking the other woman, I don't even know if it was the same woman or if it was another woman, could have been the same woman, I don't know, right? But whatever, whatever the case may be, there is footage out there of him putting his hands around a woman's neck at a celebrity basketball game, lifting her up out of the seat, choking her, and dragging her out of there. So again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I just can't get past him doing that in public so freely, so nonchalantly, like with such a high level of normalcy. Like that was something that he does every day almost. Like to be that comfortable doing that to someone in public. I'll say it, said it several times, and I'll say it again. You have to ask yourself if he's going to do that so freely in public, what's he going to do behind closed doors? But there's something else I can't get past, right? Because if you read the police report, right, does say that she had when the police were there, they discovered that she had a bloody lip. She had a facial abrasion, right? So I'm asking myself, okay, if he didn't hit you and there was no physical altercation, I mean, she does admit there was an argument, right? She does admit that you know, there was a heated discussion. She admits all of that, right? But now she's backtracking on the physical violence and the physical altercation part of her story. Okay. So if you're going to do that, then please explain, where did you get the bloody lip from? Where did you get the facial abrasion from? Right? And everyone's trying to say she lied. Okay, what is she lying about? Is she lying about the original claims, or is she lying about him not hitting her? There's something doesn't add up here. If someone, if it can be explained how she got the bloody lip and the facial abrasion, then if anyone has an explanation for that, I'm all ears. Please explain to me, where that bloody lip came from that was in the police report and is now, in the court documents. And where did the facial abrasion come from? And I believe I'm not going to be 100%. I'm not going to claim, with 100% certainty I know this, but I guess I heard that, her clothes were ripped too. I didn't read that in the court documents. I didn't read that in the police report. That was something else that was said. I don't know how true that is. So I'm not going to, talk about that too much, but you have to explain where the bloody lip and facial abrasion came from, right? You have to explain that. And no one seems to be coming up with an explanation for that. Everyone is just so fixated on the fact that she came out a couple days later after he was bailed out. I'm sure he went back to the home, right? Or possibly went back to the home. I don't know if there's a restraining order against him. I don't know what happened, but I'm assuming that possibly there could have been some type of discussion, whether it be in person or on the phone. And maybe he, guys will a lot of times when they originally uh, hit a woman, a lot of times what they'll do more often than not, they'll, oh baby, I'll never do it again. And statistically, once a woman when a woman gets hit, it's usually not one time that it happens. Because we're going to look at some statistics here, and you know, it's not very uncommon, right? So 53% of battered women involved with the person who battered them, they experience self-blame for the violence being caused, which is what she's doing in her statement. She's basically saying that, it wasn't all his fault. You know, part of it was my fault. We got in an argument. We're not now we're seeking counseling. for our issues. So she's admitting that they have issues, and that's fine. I mean, a lot of relationships have issues, but you know, judging by her statements, they have some pretty significant issues. I would suggest, right? Here's another statistic, right? Um, Most female victims of partner violence were previously victimized by the same offender at rates of 77% for women ages 18 to 24, 76 for ages 25 to 34, and 81% from 35 to 49. So these statistics are telling us that a lot of these women, at a very high percentage, are staying with their abusers, right? So this is not uncommon for a woman to blame herself, to say it was her fault. It's not uncommon for the victim of domestic violence to defend the abuser, right? And statistics are showing this. So a high percentage of these women who are victims of domestic violence are staying with the man. And you ask yourself why. That's the big question. And again, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, they need to just leave." You know, they kind of shame the woman for staying. And I mean, the reality of the situation is you have to have some level of self-awareness that if you're in a bad situation, you have to do everything you can to get yourself out of that situation. And if you do stay, you know, you are you are part of the problem as the victim if you're not doing what you need to do to get out of that situation. And is it easier said than done? Probably not. But at the end of the day, in order to solve that problem, you as a woman have to make the decision to get up and leave. But a lot of times women don't leave for a number of reasons. And particularly in this case, you have to look at the situation. Tank Davis is a 1% earner in the United States, right? He's a multimillionaire, right? He also has very high status, right? He's a professional boxer, arguably one of the best boxers in the world. A lot of people know him. He's popular, and what women do look for a lot in men is they love men of high status. Um, that's one of the main things a woman looks for in a man. And Tank does have high status. He's a professional boxer, right? He's looked upon as arguably the best lightweight in the world by some, and one of the best boxers in the world by a lot of people. So he has status. He's a 1% earner. So she's saying to herself, well, if I leave this guy, right, how am I ever going to get someone of this status, right? How am I ever going to get someone like this who is a 1% earner? So she's trying to justify staying, regardless of the abuse. She's weighing out, her options here. So you could argue that she doesn't want to leave this guy in fear of her not being able to find another man of his status, another man with his earning potential, right? I don't think I can get another guy as good as him. That's one of the main reasons why a lot of times these women leave. Another reason, as I said earlier, is they blame themselves, right? Big reason for that is possibly they have a low self-esteem, right? And they say to themselves, you know what? I'm the problem, not him. And they even and there is even a higher percentage that even after being abused and assaulted, they still will say a lot of positive things about the man. He has a lot of positive qualities, whether it be he's a good dad or he's a good provider or he still shows me a lot of affection. They will still try to minimize the abuse and go out of their way to look for the other positive traits in that man, right? That's the thing. So it's not uncommon for a woman to protect her abuser. And again, do we know with 100% certainty that is what she's doing right now? You can argue, no, we don't. You can argue, no, we don't. But once again, me being who I am, I'm going to give you my opinion. I am 99% sure she is trying to protect Tank right now. I do believe that Tank did put hands on this woman. I do believe that. It's my opinion. You can disagree. You can come up with counter arguments if you want. I believe she's lying right now. I do believe she's lying right now. Do believe he hit her. Because no one has come out and explained why she had a facial abrasion, why she had a bloody lip. And everyone's saying, oh, they think Tank's out of the woods here. But they're wrong. They're wrong. Because the state prosecutor can go ahead and press charges against Tank if they feel they have enough evidence to convict him, regardless of what she says. She doesn't have to press charges. She can say it didn't happen. But then guess what's going to happen? They're going to ask her to explain the 911 call. They're going to ask her to explain the bloody lip. They're going to ask her to explain the facial abrasion. And many times you'll hear women say, I tripped and fell. The cat scratched me. I bumped my head in the shower. Okay. Okay. Will those things hold up in a court? So again, everyone thinks Tank's out of the woods here. Right. Everyone thinks that because she said that she lied, that it didn't happen. But there's two sides to this. You can look at it like it never happened, right? And you could say, okay, well, she lied, didn't happen. Or you could look at it the other way. Is she lying to protect him? Because quite frankly, Tank is an a big investment for her. He's the provider, right? He's a 1% man, right? Not only in earning potential, but in status. This guy's a 1% man. He's a top level, high level blue chipper athlete, right? And a lot of times a woman will tolerate things because of that. Because like, as I said earlier in this video, she's saying to herself, I could never get, or it's going to be extremely hard, right? For me to ever get a man like this. And no one's going to come on here and say these things. No one's going to make a video about this because everybody's, concerned about, oh, well, you know, they're going to be attacked for these things. But I'm a small channel. I don't make a lot of money on here, right? Quite frankly, I enjoy coming on here giving my opinion. I like having intelligent debate with other people. This is a very fun hobby for me, and I'm going to come on here and tell the truth. And once again, I'm not going to say there's no other person, but I support men first and foremost in society right now. I do believe there is there is attack on masculinity, right? But what Tank is displaying right here is not masculinity. Okay? Men were not, we are not wired, right? To want to, we're not wired to beat on women. That's not what we were wired to provide, protect women, right? We are not wired to beat on the weaker sex like this. This is not a masculine trait. It's a feminine trait. right? This is a feminine trait. This is why men and women don't compete against each other, because we are the stronger sex. Now, you can have that discussion. What if the woman attacks you? What if your life is in danger? I understand those points as well. There's a term that a lot of people in the manosphere like to use: equal rights, equal, mean equal lefts, right? So if a lot of people believe if a woman hits you first, then you have the right to hit her back. If you want to make an argument for that, that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, if a woman hits you, how much damage? I mean, this is my opinion. If a woman does hit you, how much damage can she actually cause? Um, is it better to just walk away? Is it better to probably just restrain her? I mean, either way, we can have that discussion. I'm not saying that people who say that are 100% wrong either. I get that argument. Like, nobody should put their hands, whether regardless of who the sex, no one should put their hands on each other. I get that. The whole Chris Brown situation too. Now it's coming out that she was the one that was hitting him first. And they were in a car. What's he supposed to do? I mean, if she's sitting there punching him, I get it. I'm not justifying what Chris Brown did, but you have to understand that side of the argument too, you know. And I'm willing to have a discussion about that, because there's a lot of gray area. It's not always black and white. But once again, this is a very small, petite woman. This is a boxer who is an A-level person. This is a 1% guy. He's a fighter. He can cause some serious damage to not only a woman but a man. And there's nothing in the report that says she hit him first, right? Like, she didn't hit him, he hit her, right? And more, I'm not saying that women don't hit men. There are women out there that want to be boss chicks, and they're feminine. Like, I'm not a fan of feminism, guys. I'm not that guy, right? And there are women that think, oh, I'm gonna go slap my man, punch him, or do this, that, there, because he's not gonna hit me back because I'm a woman. He can't hit me back. I'm not co-signing that, guys. But this is not that. This is not that. It's not that. So, yeah, I just question, and I just want to know if he's not the person that gave her that bloody lip and caused that facial abrasion. Then who did? Then who did? And if she called the cops, right? Just because she wanted to set him up, as everyone is saying, right? She wanted to punish him, right? As everyone is saying. Okay, so what is the end goal here, right? What is the end goal here? Oh, she's trying to extort him. Well, what do you mean extort him? I mean, it's pretty obvious. He was providing her with a living. He was giving her a high level of financial security. So here's the thing. If she takes him to court for child support, yeah, she'll probably get some money out of it. But you could argue that it's probably better for her. It's probably better for her to, from a financial standpoint, for her to stay with him, because she's not only getting child support, but she's getting taken care of too. So whereas if she goes to court after, if they were to break up and she was to, uh, file a child support claim against him, yeah, she'll get money, but will she get more money than she would get if he stayed with her? So, but you can argue that she's staying with him because she don't want to mess up the bag. Brian, what's up, brother? What's your opinion?
What's good, Joe? What's good, Joe?
What's up, brother? I mean, what's your opinion on this, man?
Oh man, 1 second. Let me turn my audio to. Here's how what I think happened with the situation. Just the timing of the situation is funny. And don't get it twisted. Not saying that this shit don't happen, and it can happen any time. But I've had time to observe this, and it's just funny. I didn't really have any time to really observe it at all. I could just look at it for what it is. Supposedly he assaults this woman, and now he's he had a mug shot, but then the very next day supposedly there's a story she spat on him, and then she's lying about the shit. Mind you, this is coming a week before his fight, right? I find it ironic that Raleigh Romero had a similar situation, even though there was no proof of anything happening. And that fight could have been off. This fight could have been off with the situation, but now all of a sudden, she's possibly lying. I believe that this shit is some publicity stunt, honestly, just based off of the lack of authenticity of what I'm looking at in the timing and just all this other stuff, right? This is all publicity stunt to get some kind of people to watch Tank Davis's fight. That's what I see with this situation. Now, if it is true, if certain aspects of it is true, because I do think that part of it could be true, but let's say if it is, I'm not the one for feminism. I despise feminism, and I
hate it too. I hate feminism.
Yeah, you understand? Nobody should be putting their hands on nobody, man, woman. No man or woman should be trying to assault each other at all. You know what I'm saying? And if you are liable to put your hands on anybody, somebody is liable to put their hands on you, or might take it to the next level, depending on the extremity. You understand? That's just how life goes. Now, if she spit on him, let's say if that's the case, if, like I said, barring that there's some authenticity to this, if she spat on him, then I'm gonna just look at it from my standpoint. It's one thing, you know what? If a woman might give me a slap, I might back off. I may or may not back off. You spit on me though, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Are you swinging? Are you swinging if a woman spits on you, Brian?
No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna swing. I'm just gonna pick her little body up and I'm gonna throw it through a door.
Oh shit! Oh shit, Brian!
You understand? I'm just saying.
Brian.
I mean, I'm not a guy to assault no woman at all. I have no history of that.
God damn, Brian.
No history of that. But if because here's the thing about spit versus a slap. Like I said, I may or may not hit back if I deem the woman to be not physically a threat, just by looking at her countenance or whatever. But spitting is that is like, I don't know what kind of, you could have STDs, you could have fucking venom. I don't know what the fuck is in your goddamn saliva, in your DNA. You understand? That spit can make me fucking ill for the rest of my life. And if I have that kind of fear, then I'm going to at least give you a good thumping that you're going to remember. In other words, you getting thrown into a wall or through a door. That's just, to me, that's just how I'm gonna look at it from that standpoint. And the reason why is because so you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what you could do to somebody doing that nasty shit. Especially, I don't know what these females do nowadays. Probably, putting their mouth on everything under the sun. You understand? So that to me, so if I just to end on this, if it's Tank Davis and she did that, then that's one thing. If she didn't do this and Tank assaulted her for any reason, and let's say if she gave a little slap and he just went up and beat the shit out of her, he should have showed a whole lot more restraint. Like I said, I mean, slapping is not cool, but bro, you got a fight coming up and you got money to make. But I mean, Tank is an idiot to begin with. As much as I like him, he's simple. I mean, but if she didn't do none of that, she didn't spit on him or nothing like that, and it was just a verbal argument. I don't care what the fuck she said. I don't care if she made mockery of your mother, and if she did that, or mother or father or whatever, or your children, you know, hell, I mean, a backhand's one thing, but if you go up and just assault her for no reason, like, I mean, assault her for that, like, you're an idiot. But
So let me
that's my take on it, Joe.
So, in your opinion, spitting is like the lowest, is probably like one of the highest forms of disrespect that not only a woman but anyone can do to you. Like it's more offensive, in your opinion, to be spit on than to be hit, basically, right?
I think not only is it more degrading, which it is, I think it's more dangerous, honestly.
All right, fair enough. So here's $1 million question, Brian. So, I mean, I didn't hear the spitting thing, and it's not in the police report, it's not in the court documents, right? It was never reported. I mean, someone could have said it. I don't know. It probably could come out later. I'm not saying it didn't happen or it did happen. It's just that it's not documented, in the court documents, and it's not documented in the police report. So, the $1 million question I have for you, in your opinion, do you believe that he did not lay hands on her in that whole incident, or do you think she's lying now saying he didn't put hands on her? What is your opinion?
Well, see that's why I started off saying that how authentic is this? Because
Yeah.
why? I mean, and that's the reason why I say it's a publicity stunt because okay, yeah, anybody can make it, and don't get it twisted. Let's say, if part of it is true, like I said, right? If he did assault her, you're gonna have a mugshot because you're gonna get arrested. But anybody can fake a mugshot. Anybody can, I mean, they do that on these TV shows and whatnot, you know. But like I said, I mean, I'm going off of like what people are reporting and whatnot, which I didn't look at the full police report. I only saw the case report, right? Um, yeah, I mean, based off, let's say, like I said, I think that it's staged, honestly, um, to garner some kind of attention, which it's all publicity is good publicity, but it's also when it's just nothing but negativity, it's not good. But I mean, I think that if there's none of that in the police report, I think all in all, man, Tank is just as simple can be, and he got to be one of the most idiotic athletes that I've seen in a long time. You know what I'm saying? More than Mike Tyson, more than a lot of these other guys that have done dumb shit. Because at least there was an excuse. But this guy is just like, you don't really have too many options, man. It's not like there's that many people that know who you are and you're a polarizing figure, you know, of that nature. You need to, what I'm saying? It's not smart. So I think that all in all, if that's what went down based off of the police report that he just assaulted her, he's just a fool. And but then supposedly she's come. This shit is just goofy. It's all goofy and it's all silly right now. Looking at this stuff now, he didn't really hit her. She's lying. Man, honestly, bro, I look at it, and I haven't done a video yet on it. I'm just looking at it from my standpoint. All of this is just stupid shit. All this shit is just, something that boxing does not need as far as attention is concerned, you know. And mind you, this is coming a week before the fight. Like, honestly, man, based off this shit, look, I like Tank, but I'm rooting for Hector Garcia just to get this just to put an L on this motherfucker's record, so this motherfucker just can sit his ass down, man, somewhere, man. Like, a lot of stupid shit going on.
I'll tell you my problem with the whole thing, man. I can't get past, and I've said this several times, I can't get past that original video that's out there on the internet with him grabbing that woman by the throat, choking her, pulling her up out of that basketball game. And at first, you could see that there was an argument there. So we have evidence that he responds to arguments in a violent way. So that's out there. And I'm supposed to just ignore that. People go, oh, that's different. Again, it's all relative, man. And another problem I have getting past is I know people get on the police and they say that they lie and they bullshit, but I mean, are they gonna just say that there was a bloody lip there and a facial abrasion? Are they just gonna make that up and pull that out of thin air? So that's the problem. Like they arrested him, and everyone says, "Oh, all the woman has to do is call, and the guy gets arrested." That's not true. There's been cases, and I've seen it myself, where two people have an argument, the cops are called, and then the cop will ask both people what happened, and if there's no signs of physical damage, and you know the cop doesn't always just arrest the guy. So for me, they arrived there, right? And they saw there was evidence that he hit her, and she said that he hit her, right? I mean, it was reported she had a bloody lip and a facial abrasion. Now, if he didn't do that, then she needs to come up with, a reason of how those things got on her face. And if she can't do that, then I'm gonna have to assume, and I'm just gonna have to come to the conclusion that he was the one that did that, right? And by her, even if she did spit on him, will a judge and a jury say that is a reason for him to punch her, give her a bloody lip, and cause a facial abrasion on her face? That's a discussion. I mean, if I'm on that jury, right, and I'm the evidence is presented to me that yeah, she called the police. The police came there, and she said that he hit her, and the police observed that she had a bloody lip and a facial abrasion. For me, I'm gonna say he did it. I'm gonna say he hit her. I'm gonna say that he hit her, right? That's what I'm gonna say. Um, because unless she can prove someone else did that, and then he came there after the fact, then I'm gonna have to go with that. I believe that he hit her. So if I'm on that jury with all the evidence that's being presented to me right now, right? I'm gonna say he did it, unless it could be proved that someone else did it. Then that it is what it is. You know what I mean? I have to come to that conclusion. M Stacks in the chat says spitting is assault. Let me see if that's construed as assault, because I don't know. Is spitting on someone assault? Okay, is spitting a form of assault? You can be accused of assault even if you okay. Let me see. For example, spitting in a person's face can be assault. Important. Assault can have okay. All right. Okay. What type of abuse is spitting on someone? Okay. Okay, in some states, yeah, the act of spitting on someone else will be classified as an attempt to use force or violence. Okay, fair enough. So, Brian, you brought up an important part here. Is spitting on someone assault? And we've confirmed that spitting on someone is assault. So the argument could be made, if she did spit on him, that's considered assault. Does he have a right to retaliate? So Brian, you have an argument here. We can't dismiss Brian's argument. We can disagree with it, but it is a factual statement that if someone spits on you, then that's considered assault, and you can hit them back as a result of that in retaliation. So the question is, did she spit on him? Yeah, M Stacks is correct. He said that spitting is assault, and we've confirmed that it is. Yeah. So let's Google. I'm just gonna Google that. Did Tank's girlfriend spit on him?
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of guys on YouTube saying that she spat on him,
Yeah, see, I
or
don't know.
not. I mean, as far as speculate, it's become very speculatory.
Okay. So um there is something out here on the internet right here. Who is Vanessa Passo? All about Javante Davis's girlfriend, as toothbrush incident sparks wild reactions online. So
Oh
she
yeah, what the
apparently,
fuck was that? My
okay,
bad.
no, go ahead, that's fine. The boxer uploaded some graphic images alleging that the violence was meted out by his girlfriend, who accused him of domestic violence. Davis claimed that Passo spat on him, and stuck poop on his toothbrush. Okay. On Wednesday, so he's saying that she spat on him and put shit on his toothbrush. But once again, that was not reported in the police report. Did that happen at the time? Did that happen? At the time he hit her, or were these things that happened in the past? I mean, we don't know. We don't know. So okay, so he's claiming that she put shit on his toothbrush, right? And she spat on him. All right. Okay. So right then and there, if this supposed to hit her, that's a conversation. But at the end of the day, this thing, we don't know all the facts of this thing, and we're hearing rumors, but the police report does not say that she spat on him, does not say that she put shit on his toothbrush. So he didn't say those things apparently to the cops, right? So yeah, we don't know. We don't know if she did those things or not. He's saying she did those things. So he never reported that to the police. That was never that according to the police reports and the court documents. And again, maybe this will come out later, right? This is stuff that's coming out after the fact. So I don't know. Let's see where else. Shares receipts alleging the baby mama put poop on his toothbrushes and spat on him as he denies domestic violence. Okay. Javante Davis leaks proof to clear his name. That this girl put shit on my toothbrush and everything. This hard shit from my daughter's pamper, the one y'all say I hit. Okay. So he's coming out with all this stuff. So apparently this is a very toxic relationship. And maybe it's best that he does not stay involved with her. So if she spat on him and put shit on his toothbrush, should he have hit her? That's the $1 million question. Did he? In other words, if someone does that to you, right? Should you hit them in retaliation of that, or should you just leave and walk away as the man? Because in my opinion, it's one thing if she physically attacks you, she comes at you with a knife, a bat, or something, and your life is in danger. But my question is this, Brian, and this is a subjective question: is his life in danger if she spits on him? Right? I know you're saying that the spit could have something on it, give him a disease. But once again, if the spit is like open to the air, usually the oxygen and air usually kills a lot of that bacteria anyways. But again, that's a discussion we can have. I'm not a medical professional. So yeah, this is the $1 million question. Even if she did put shit on his toothbrush, even if she did spit on him, is his life in danger? Is he being physically threatened by those two acts? Now, again, those are two diabolical, crappy, shitty things. But if those things are done to me in a relationship, me as a human being, am I going to hit that woman as a result of that? At 53 years old, I'm just I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of there. I'm just walking out of it, and I'm leaving the situation. I'm leaving the relationship. So if you ask me if I'm going to hit somebody, if a man spits on me, it's on. But if a woman spits on me, I'm walking away from her. I may call her a couple choice words, you know. Am I going to spit back? No, because I don't want to be called. I don't want to be charged for anything myself. I'll be honest with you. I'm walking away. I'm walking away.
Nah, I mean, the logical thing, because we live in a country where, it's a bitch ass country. I'm just going to call it what it is. Excuse my language, but in this country, yeah, I mean, the logical thing is to call the police on her, get a restraining order, do all the necessary things to stay away from that. Now, if you're a man of any kind of class, you might get a B, you might get a female dog as a woman, as far as a woman that don't know to keep her mouth closed, but she ain't gonna be that low class. If you're a man of any kind of class, you're not gonna get any kind of woman. Because look, misery loves company, right? And like people like to say, if you're a toxic individual, you're gonna draw in toxic people. There's a saying in my, what I believe in. A wicked woman is a portion to a wicked man, right? So that's just the case. So when you look at this chick and how she's and how he's carrying himself now, they both have a little bit of toxicity. I mean, and the fact that he's drawing that kind of a woman, let's say if all this is true, which I do believe part of it is, this shit is just crazy. You put shit on someone's toothpaste or toothbrush and you spit at them. Honestly, I mean, if we want to deal with how motherfuckers really used to deal with that, like a beat down is like the last. That is child's play. That's very juvenile to compare to what you should be getting with that. Lashes is mercy. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you that low to do something to someone you don't like, you understand you're supposedly in a relationship. You're lucky somebody don't take your arm. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, I mean, that's what should happen, honestly. But logically, get a restraining order. Is it really worth millions? But at the same time, it's like, man, like what point is a breaking point? Because as a man, I'm speaking on all levels. As a man, I'm not allowing none of that shit happening to me. But at the same time, without me doing something. But at the same time, I wouldn't put myself in that situation by being around a toxic individual. That's why if I ever do get a female, I'm always vetting a female whenever I'm looking at, even if it's a potential mate, I would always vet that person. Yeah. And the first thing is, are you stable in the mind? Because ain't nobody stable in the mind putting shit in somebody's tooth and spitting at them. That's just madness. So that's just if this is all true. That's all I'm gonna say.
And you have to ask yourself, did she do this? And immediately after she did those things, is that when the altercation happened, or are these things that she has done to him in the past? I don't know. I don't know. But these are just things that are being put out there. These are not things that were in the police report. Apparently, they had an argument, and as a result of that argument, it got physical, and he hit her. So, if those are isolated incidences that happened before the fact, and if all those things contributed to the animosity between the two of them, then I get it. But yeah, again, this is a professional boxer, right? And
Right.
here's another argument. Oh, well, if he really hit her, she'd be dead. And this again, he doesn't have to hit her hard to cause damage, right? She's a petite little woman, right? So you say to yourself, what's worse? Her shitting on the toothbrush and spitting at him, or him hitting her? What can cause more damage? What are the repercussions of like, because again, someone spits at me, it's degrading, it's upsetting, it's the highest level of disrespect. But from a physical danger standpoint, right? Can that cause more damage than someone punching me in the face, breaking an orbital bone, or breaking my nose, or bloodying up my face, or causing a laceration, or possibly knocking me out? In what situation am I in more danger? And how do I mitigate danger? You act differently to different levels of threat, right? Now, if someone says, I'm gonna fucking kill you, but they don't hit you, yeah, they're threatening you, right? And you may feel threatened, right? And you may think that they can assault you, right? But if they don't hit you, and you have the ability to walk away from the altercation. Now, if someone comes at you and tries to hit you, then you're forced, to make a decision to defend yourself. So again, we have to look at this. And you're saying, I guess my question would be, if we were to ask 10 men, what would their reaction be if a woman spit on them? Would they walk? I'm going to put that in the poll. If a woman spit at you, would you hit her or walk away? I would walk away. What would you do, Brian?
Man, if she walked up and spat up in my face, if she walked, let's say she spat at me and it just hit the ground, I'm gonna do the smart thing and walk away before whatever testosterone starts building up in my body to react to it. If she spits in my face, I might headbutt the bitch. I'm gonna be honest with you.
All right, fair enough.
I'm just being honest.
We're not here to judge. We're not here to judge, man. We're not here to judge. People do what they do, and technically, spitting is a form of assault. So the argument could be self-defense. I mean, we're going to be objective here. So if a woman spits on you, what would you do? Walk away, hit her. That's what we're going to put in the chat, and I'm curious to see what the people say here. We don't have a lot of people watching live right now, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm walking away, man, because I think by me hitting her, I could cause far more damage to her than her spitting on me will have on me. You know what I'm saying? So if I hit her, here's another thing to look at, Brian. If she has plausible deniability, right? So if there's no witnesses that see her spit on you, right? And she spits on you, there's going to be no residual effect of her spitting on you. You just wipe the spit off. But if you hit her, you can cause a scar, right? And that in itself, she can say, he hit me, here's the scar. So she has evidence to present against you, but you don't have evidence to present against her. And I know in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking of things like that. But as an experienced man, you have to say to yourself, yeah, she spits on me, but no one saw it, right? And I hit her back and I bloody her nose up, right? Or I bloody her lip up and I cause an abrasion on her face, right? That's evidence right there, right? So it's easier for her to prove that you hit her versus you to prove she spit on you, because she'll have plausible deniability. You see where I'm going with this?
Oh yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's I mean, in this the pitfalls, man. Of being a man in America. I mean, it's unfortunately, you have people like this, or women like this. Not all, but a lot do that do shit like this. But I'm gonna just say this though, right, Joe? Like, because I mean, logically, this is what you're supposed to do, but you know how you avoid these situations?
You don't get involved with women like this.
There you go. I mean, and look, take and guys be talking about Take like he's some little kid. He's 28 years old, man.
Yeah. And this is the thing, man. Like I said, this is the problem, Brian. And people are getting it twisted. Because I'm strongly against this current feminist movement, right?
Right.
Strongly against it. I believe men should be men, women should be women. I think we should play our masculine role. We should go with our biological instincts and follow our masculine role in society, right? And women should be feminine, fit, friendly, and feminine is the type of girl I'm looking for in life. But as a man, it is not masculine to hit a woman. That's not a masculine trait, in my
No.
opinion. And we're not teaching men to be masculine by justifying this. Now, you could argue if she hits him first, we can have that discussion. But the problem with that discussion is you have to understand you can cause significantly more damage to her by hitting her than she can to you. My thing is the best thing to do is mitigate that. If she comes at you hitting you, then you should distance yourself. You should try to get out of that situation because chances are she's going to hit you and it's really not going to have a ton of effect on you. But when you hit her, you can cause some serious damage. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. A girl can punch you. I mean, it's one thing if you're not expecting it, you're sitting down and out of nowhere, the girl just punches you and it hurts you like that. She can, that could hurt, whatever. And after that, do you hit her back or do you walk away? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, you save yourself a lot of headaches if you just walk away from the situation.
Oh
That's just
yeah.
my opinion. Save
Oh
yourself a lot because again, she can hit you and it may hurt, but you hit her, you can fuck her up big time, bro. We're just because we're so much stronger than them, right? That we could really cause some serious damage to them. Even if we try to, even if we were to try to pull our punch while we're hitting them, they are the bone density, just how much smaller they are and how much more fragile they are than us. We could really hurt them badly. So those are things, when people want to talk about, equal rights, equal lefts, you got to keep in mind, man, that we could cause significantly more damage to them than they can to us. And again, women should never put their hands on a man, and a man should never put their hands on a woman. But you have to look at it like that. When you're a boxer and your hands are legal or registered weapons, as Brian, shout out to Brian, my buddy King, Cali King in the chat, you got to walk away, man. You got to walk away. And that's the thing, man. That's the thing. And Brian and myself, we both preach masculinity, man. We don't like the feminine bullshit, And there's a lot of things in today's society working against us as men. But again, we still have to strive to be the best versions of ourselves. And by being the best version of yourself, that doesn't mean that you should hit women. So
yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah, ain't nothing masculine about assaulting a woman at all. You know,
Yeah.
and don't get it twisted. Ain't when I'm just saying, just as a media reaction. Like, I don't get it twisted. I've had a woman spit at a girl when I was in my when I was saying my teenage years, spit at me or something like that. But as far as my adulthood, I've never had no woman actually try to physically assault me or spit at me in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Um, or at least not one, that's at least not a situation that even warrant, me to defend myself. I'm not saying that I would. I'm just saying specifically, if you do, if it does happen to you, you like me, I'm just giving you my take on what would possibly happen. But as far as this situation is concerned, you got to walk away from these situations, and be smart. But I mean, we're asking a lot from Tank Davis. I mean, I'm just gonna call it what it is. I mean, looking at the motherfucker, he doesn't look all that intelligent from that standpoint, man. You know, guys can take it how they want, man. You know, I like Tank, but I like Tank as a fighter, but he's a simpleton. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that I think that it's an unfortunate situation. You know, it's just but at the same time, part of me questions how legitimate this shit is, because it's literally a week away, and isn't this another negative? Like, are you telling me he's in another negative action again in the public eye once again? Like, come on.
But here's the thing, Brian. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and this guy's got a history. Like, did these things just keep piling up with this guy, right? So at some point, you know, I understand where you're coming from with the timing, right? I understand where you're coming from with the timing, but there's been also other incidences where he hasn't had fights, and there's been negative shit coming out about him, like the hit and run. At that time, he didn't have a fight sign when that happened. You know what I'm saying? When he was choking the girl at the basketball game, he didn't have a fight sign when that happened. So we could make an argument that in this instance, right? Right? In this instance, was it just circumstantial? Centurion asked me a question. This is crazy. He goes, "B, just curiosity. What if she threw shit in your face?" Wow. It would be hard, man. But my first, my answer would be, man, I would use every ounce of restraint I had, man, to not hit her back. Brian, what's going on, Brian? Brian, how long you been married for, Brian?
Like 10 years. About
10 years? How long you been with your current woman?
About 20 years. 4 minutes.
You know, and I'm sure you've had your ups and downs, you've had your fights.
Oh yeah.
You think the best move as a man is to hit back or walk away? What is your answer?
I'm gonna tell, man, I hope people listening to me right now too, because okay, when you a boxer, because I got a gang of homies that's boxers, I'm a boxer. When you box, man, you just can't do that shit. You feel me? You can't fucking do that. I got like 2 or 3 homies that done been to jail over beating up their female. You know what I'm saying? They go to jail for that shit. You know, and it's like, man, in situations, I just wish I was there to just stop them. Like, man, let's just walk away, homie. Because trust me, when it's your boy, you're gonna want to pull him out that situation, because you don't want to see him go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking on some real shit right now. You know, because I got homies that's boxers that done went to jail, and I'm like, man, I wish I was there to stop this dude, because they beat the shit out of these broads. I'm talking about bop their ass, put them in the fucking emergency room. We boxers, homie. You feel me? We are boxers, man. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. You shouldn't do that shit when you a boxer. But I'll say this though, and I'm gonna ask you this too, B. What if she told you she was fucking around with your best friend, homie? She told you she was fucking around with your best friend, then she spit at your ass. Now, right then and there, I don't know what I would do. I'm gonna be honest. Shit. Because, you know, these women will push your ass and they'll push buttons. You know what I'm saying? They'll push, you know what I'm saying? Just to push your button, you know. So it is situations. I know these females be tripping, but that's why I say, you know, you got to have somebody to pull you out of them situations. That's it.
But here's the thing, Brian. If a woman says that to me, this is what guys need to understand. This is what guys need to understand. If a woman said that to me, she ain't making me look bad. She's exposing herself as a hoe. So,
right.
in trying to make me look bad and hurt me, she's only fucking making herself look bad and looking worse. Because as a man,
right.
It's once again, people don't want to hear this, but as a man, you know, we're wired to have multiple partners. They're not. They can only give birth once a year. So they're wired to not be promiscuous. we're wired to be promiscuous. So if a woman says she's promiscuous, she's only lowering her value, right?
Okay, let's move that out the way. Look, all I'm saying is that a female, she's gonna say the shit to get to you, even if it's not that. She's gonna know your fucking weakness, okay? And she's gonna use that shit against you in the fucking argument, and you gotta just know how to handle that shit, man. But they're gonna push your buttons, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna push your fucking buttons, because I know females that do that shit.
They constantly play passive aggressive games with you.
They'll push your buttons. Push your buttons.
They like to use words like small dick energy and say all this shit, but you gotta go back at them. She's like, oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, so all of a sudden, I got a small dick, but this dick fit perfectly in your mouth. I mean, you gotta be slick. You gotta come back at them. You gotta come back at them.
Shit.
Of course.
Hey. I mean, they know our weakness, man. They'll fucking try to make you feel bad. That's how a woman will do. They'll make you feel your lowest, man. That's why it's like, you know, you just gotta know how to handle that shit. Me, I don't worry about that shit. My woman, she don't do that type of shit. But I've seen the shit with the homies. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like they getting into it with their female, and they female just going in on them, and I'm like, damn, man, shit. Let me get him up out of here real quick before he go to jail, because they'll push your button.
You made a great point, Brian, because you said when these guys that you know actually hit the woman, right? You said when these guys actually hit the women, they were the ones that went to jail and got locked up. So guys, if you're out there and you get put in situations like this, no, chances are, statistically, it's going to end up not well for you. It's going to end up a lot worse for you than it is going to be for the woman, because you are the stronger sex. You can cause more damage than she can because you're bigger, stronger than her. So at the end of the day, as much as you feel justified that you should hit her, whatever the case may be, you know, however you work it out in your head, and however angry you are, I know in the heat of the moment, it's going to be hard to restrain yourself sometimes, but you need to understand a couple things here, that no matter what she does to you, when you retaliate, you're going to cause probably 10 times more damage to her than she can to you. That's number one. And number two, you're going to face a much higher degree of legal repercussions than she will, because she probably won't get in trouble at all. You're the one that's going to get locked up. You're the one that's going to do jail time. You're the one that's going to have that hanging over your head. Even if it's a fucking misdemeanor, that's still going to be on your head that you're going to be labeled a woman beater, and you're going to have to carry that label. To this day, people still call Floyd Mayweather a woman beater. That's why this guy has no endorsements, because of his public image. So again, you know, when it comes to a man and a woman, women are judged by their past, by how many women they sleep with. And I'm not the first guy to say this. You know, you can look at guys like Fresh and Fit. You can look at guys like Andrew Tate. You know, all these manosphere guys out there, Rollo Tomasi. People are judged. Men are judged. Women are judged by their past, by their body count, how many people they sleep with. But you're going to be judged by your future. So what you do is gonna stay with you in the future. So you got to keep that in mind, guys. Got to keep that in mind. You're going to be judged by your future, and your future is going to linger as time goes on. So at the end of the day, if anything, right? This goes out to the equal rights versus equal rights equals equal lefts people, meaning that if you're hit, you should be able to hit back. Keep in mind that you're gonna cause significantly more damage when you retaliate, and you're more than likely gonna get punished to a higher degree, and you're gonna be the one who's gonna be at fault in this court system. So these are the things you need to keep in mind. My advice would be obviously it's easy to say just don't get involved with toxic women, but again, sometimes you look at a woman, the physical attraction outweighs everything, and we're wired to look at beauty first and everything else second. So this girl's a very attractive woman. I could see where he may get caught up in that, but as you get older, you gotta try to navigate your way around shit like that. But this goes out to the equal rights versus equal lefts people. You got to protect yourself and keep in mind what I said. If you retaliate, chances are you're going to cause significantly more damage to her than she can initially to you, and you're going to be punished significantly higher than she is. You're the one that's going to be going to jail, not her. So these are the two things to keep in mind. This is the best advice I can give anyone out there. This is the best advice I can give anyone out there. You could try to justify it all you want, and I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm not saying. I mean, I may not agree with Brian, but I mean, he makes some good points. Like, it is probably one of the worst feelings in the world when someone spits on you. That is the pro. I would agree. That's probably the most degrading thing anyone could. Like, that's the highest level of disrespect. I get it. I'm not going to debate that, and I'm not going to lie. I may want to hit a girl if they spit in my face, but I have to say to myself, damn, if I do hit this girl, I could fuck her up big time. The spit, I could wash the spit away from my face, but I could cause serious bodily harm to her by retaliating that she may not be able to get past. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey Joe, you know what I was just thinking about. I'm watching this. What's it called while I'm watching this, what's this shit called? Judy Justice with Judge Judy and shit.
Yeah.
Man, I was just thinking. You know what the best substitute instead of slapping a female and physically assaulting a female when she spits in your face or punches you or whatever? Wait for it. Bear spray.
Okay.
Mace. What, I mean, because okay, if a woman's going crazy and whatnot and she spits in your face, or then you know what, a nice little mace to the face, that to me, because what are they gonna say? Oh, you assaulted her. There's brute. No, I didn't put my hand on her. I just maced her because she spat at me, and only animals spit at people. Only animals, do the kind of shit that chick did. So you know what you do? You mace that animal and calm its nerves. So to me, where they gonna get you on? Oh, he maced her, so that's assault. Well, the bitch spit on me, right? So I think that's probably the best substitute. Instead of assaulting her. So hey, you know what? I'm gonna probably, just in case, not this shit don't happen to me at all. I don't get in this. As many women have I've seen in my time, I ain't getting in these little situations because I don't deal with toxic, stupid, ignorant females. But I might keep a mace in the back pocket just in case. So
Yeah, I got you. Let's take a look at the poll. See what we got here. We only got 13 votes because we don't have many people watching right now, but 79% of the people say that they would walk away. 21% say hit her. So, like I said, if anything, the biggest message we could give men out there that are involved in these situations, whether you want to look at it as being right or wrong, and I understand both sides of the argument, the two biggest things you have to understand is when you do retaliate, as I said, you're going to cause more damage to her than she can ever cause to you, more than likely, right? Unless she has a fucking knife or something. And she's like, if she got a knife or she got a weapon or something like that, then you got to go all out. You got to go all out in that situation. But if it's just hand to hand, keep in mind that you are going to cause way more damage to her than she is to you. So you got to be careful with that. And you're the one that's going to be punished and she's probably not going to get punished at all. You're the one that's going to have to face the legal repercussions of retaliating more so than her. The court system more than likely is going to go with, punish you and not punish her, right? So you got to keep all that in mind. Unless there's a weapon involved, you can prove that there's a weapon involved. You have a knife wound or something like that, or you can, evidence will show that she has a knife or some type of object, right? Then you got a shot. But if you're going straight up hand to hand with a woman and you hit her, chances are you're the one that's going to be punished. So you got to keep all these things in mind. If these equal rights versus equal lefts people, keep all these things in mind. So that's what you got to do. Brian, I don't got anything else, man. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. It looks like the fight is going to happen. Big question for you, with all this negative shit going on in Tank swirling around over Tank's head, and even the fact that if you look at Tank's last couple fights, he's lost a lot of rounds. Even in the Barrios fight, he lost a lot of rounds in that fight. Even in the Romero fight, as long as it lasted, he lost rounds in that fight, right? He lost rounds. He lost a lot of rounds in the Pitbull Cruz fight. I'm gonna be honest. There seems to be some slippage in Tank. Even though he's getting victories, he's not winning as impressively as he did early on, right?
Yeah.
Now we got all this outside shit hanging over his head. Is he ripe for the upset?
You know what? Look, I thought that him and Isaac Cruz, I thought that was a draw, and now I'm a Tank fan. I'm a Tank fan, but guys, look at the fight how it was, but I thought it was a draw. Rolly Romero, was he giving up rounds to Rolly Romero to land that big shot? I think that's what he did.
Okay, fair enough.
Because he knew he would land that shot on the dude. Cool. But here's the thing, though. Here's the situation. I think that Hector Garcia is the real deal. He's beaten Gutierrez and Chris Colbert. He is coming up from a whole weight class, but I don't know how big of an issue that is. Motherfuckers cut weight to make certain weight classes anyways, so it'd be a lesser cut, 5 pounds difference, with the smaller weight classes. I think Hector Garcia, this motherfucker can box, and he could put his punches together well, and he has good power. I think, and he likes to box on the inside a little bit. So, and that's something that Tank, he's not, he's explosive, he's sharp, and of course he has great power, but all these shenanigans and all this other shit, bro, and him also not always being in shape coming into fight, as far as he doesn't train when he don't have a fight. So, all it takes is someone with enough skill, enough talent, and enough dedication to beat a guy like that. I think Hector Garcia is a live dog in this fight, honestly. Yeah. And he's shown that, and he's a really good fighter. So I do believe that Tank is going to be in for a fight. Do I think Tank will pull out? I think he will pull it out. I think he will. But this is doing all that. This is not the dude to be being lackadaisical with, because he is a better opponent. I'm gonna tell you something. He's a better opponent than Barrios, weak ass. Rolly Romero, retarded ass, and he's better. I think he's better than Isaac Cruz, man.
Okay, and the whole size thing about him coming up in weight. If you look at both these guys together, man, Hector Garcia, look, he got the frame definitely to carry 135, and he looks bigger than Tank significantly when they're face to face. So I'm not going to buy into the size thing. You can argue Tank is the stronger guy with the punching power. Well, we'll give you that. We'll give you the fact that Tank's explosive. We'll give you the fact that Tank is dangerous. We'll give you the fact that Tank is a very slick counter puncher. All those things can be working in his favor, but I don't think the guy moving up in weight is that big of a disadvantage for him. So I'm gonna kind of refute that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw his little sparring session with Devin Haney. You can't really take much from sparring like that when it's when guys are just working and whatnot. But far as the size difference, Hector Garcia wasn't really all that small to Devin Haney. We know that Devin Haney really should be fighting at 147. Honestly, if we
Yeah.
want to keep it
Yeah.
real. So I thought that he didn't look all that small in size comparison to Devin Haney. So no, this I think honestly they're about the same size if you ask me. So
Got you. Got you. All right, Brian, man. Thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for joining me today, man. And
oh,
you know, we'll see how this whole thing plays out, man. Thank you, everyone in the chat. We'll talk to y'all soon, man. And maybe if more information comes out, we'll talk about this a little bit more. I'm sure Eric and I will talk about this on the Ringside Reporter podcast at 6 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one, man. Peace out, Brian.